I just think you shouldn't say stuff like that about other minorities, you know?
Well, sometimes you just look at those goblins and you're like, man, I don't like the way that their ears are pointy and their noses are pointy, and I don't like how they're small.
You gotta be very careful there. People might think you're anti-Semitic.
No, I'm Jewish, though.
With that out of the way, I just really wanted to paint you in a bad manner.
D-
One day you'll get canceled. One
I
day.
I think it'll happen. I feel like my opinions are too strong. I feel like I'm gonna end up getting canceled, even though my opinions are right.
Well, I mean, I feel like the one you're going to be crucified for is definitely the English muffin.
The English muffin one, you really want to? I mean, that was on stream. That was on this channel because this goes up on the gaming channel.
Yeah, you know
But
what? I kind of forgot about that, but I do want to talk about that. How fucking dare you, first of all?
okay, I mean, in the comments, guys, let us know below. I really like toast. I'm gonna say that. I was actually just talking to Grace about it the other day. I really like toast because I think you can put so many great things on it. I think toast is delicious. I think, personally, that to me, English muffins are more versatile and taste better. That doesn't
That is
mean
so
I
stupid.
don't
That's
like
so
toast.
incorrect. That
Well,
is
I
a
mean, maybe
fucking
for
lie.
you, but I like English muffins.
English muffins are the disgusting subculture of toast that deserve nothing.
Well,
It is not versatile. If anything, the toast is beyond versatile because you could do all kinds of stuff with it. A million things.
I mean, yeah, I think you could like any. You can do that with any kind of bread, really.
You
I
could
mean,
do,
okay,
but
I
try to
gotta.
think of an example.
I mean, we were talking about Jewish people, and we got. I feel like not a lot of people know. Like, I'm not a practicing Jew, but I am of
Right.
Jewish descent, and we got bagels. I don't think
Yeah.
I think bagels are
Challah bread.
okay. I think toast is better than bagels.
We doing a tier list of breakfast like grains.
Grain-based foods,
So let's see. We
cereal.
got I guess there's English muffins at the bottom. No, actually, I'll put bagels below that. I don't believe in bagels.
I think bagels are definitely below toast. I think, yeah. I,
Toast is definitely at the top. I'm sorry. Like literally everything you can do with English muffin, you can do with toast and more.
I mean, yeah. I'll give you that. I just think the English muffin itself tastes better.
Your point was, but your original argument was that it was more versatile, and that's just wrong.
I never said it was more versatile. I just said it
You
tastes better.
said we have a recording of it.
Did I say it's more? I mean, I guess
You did.
go check the footage on that. Let me know.
If
Let
he
me
did,
know
I
after
win
the
by
podcast.
default.
Okay,
Maybe.
yeah, I'll give you that. Tell you if you can find me
That's
actually saying, like, actually, I want you to do that. I want you to go like into the stream, find the
you
moment
said it
where.
now.
Wait, I said it in just now that
You
it's
said
more
it like in the first
versatile.
minute.
I don't think I said versatile. We'll
I
see. All right,
I should win by
listen,
default. Moving
listen.
past that, I guess, because I've already
Hold on.
won.
I just want to go. I want to say if we look back at this recording and I say it's specifically more versatile, I will give it to you. I will say toast is better. If not, you have to let me at least have in my own opinion that English muffin is better and let me
Okay.
have it.
You know what?
I'm probably wrong, but we'll put that out there.
Maybe. I haven't done debate in a long time, but I feel like I'm really good at picking up my opponent's like my keeping the words in my head.
I
I'm
probably said it, but I'm still gonna throw that out there. Okay, moving
very
on.
I'm an accusatory man, but yes, I want to talk about music a bit
What
because I don't think
about
we
it?
talk about music a lot. Even though like I think me, you, and Damien are probably the most musical people in our group, and I think I'm
Yeah.
slowly catching up to passing Damien.
Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about music theory, the three of us, a while ago.
Hmm.
Damien, didn't ask to be on the podcast. What a
I think
bummer.
I don't think he believes in them.
Yeah, maybe, but music,
He
it's good.
it is something. I definitely think it's a big part of my life, and I want to get better at it. And I think I
Hmm.
do want to talk about music theory and learn about it
Sure.
because
What are you confused about when it comes to music theory? I know a bit.
I don't know. I don't think there's anything I want to specifically talk about. It's just like the idea of getting into it because I do.
Sure.
I've started the habit after watching Tick Tick Boom, which is a good Netflix film that you should watch
Yeah,
because
I
I
haven't
think
seen
you'd
it.
as a quote unquote struggling artist in this time and day,
Hmm.
I think you'd really appreciate and like it. I've started like writing down like lyric ideas of random things. But I don't know enough about like music theory to feel comfortable writing like music.
Yeah.
I can
Um,
diddle on the keys, but
you diddling on the keys can get you a decent bit of the way there. Um, you can look up a lot of stuff online. Like I went to school for it. I've had private lessons where I've learned about it. And
Mm.
my opinion on music theory has always been, and I think I talked about this when you, me, and Damien were
Yeah.
talking, is that music theory is really only there if you're in a rut. Because picking up an instrument that you like know how to play and just diddling with it, if you're trying to write something, is what I'm talking about. Just diddling
Mhm.
with it, like that can get you really far. You just gotta feel it. But if you get to a point where you're like, I'm kind of at this point and I don't really know what chord would sound good next, or oh man, I want to play this melody, but it just doesn't fit right with these chords that I chose. That's where music theory comes in. When you can't feel it anymore and you're kind of stumbling, that's when you're like, all right, let's pull out the books. Let's see what would
Hmm.
work here, and then you try different things.
Interesting. I always took it in a different way where I feel like the reason I like no, I think people might not know this, but I'm a big musical theater nerd, and I love musical theater because of the layers it adds to like storytelling. And I think music theory is just like another facet you could use.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you could definitely use music theory as a storytelling element itself. I mean, the thing that comes to mind for me is a lot of stuff like Mozart, or even arguably Vivaldi. Like, a lot of these classical composers will introduce musical ideas or specific keys that will evoke certain
Emotions.
emotions or feelings. Um, but even then, calling it music theory is stretching it a bit. Like you got the Peter and the Wolf musical, right? They have different motifs and instruments that they use to represent different characters in the story, right?
Right.
Um, and that isn't really music theory. That's just playing with timbre. Um,
Hmm.
there's a lot of different elements. I think music theory is sort of an all encompassing thing when it comes to any kind of music that's primarily there to help communicate your ideas to yourself again later if you forget them, or to other people. Does that make sense?
Vaguely. You didn't hear my because it didn't get picked up by the mic, but I did give that. I gave one
Again,
of those.
the huh
But
of improve of
I understand vaguely, but also like I think I'm forming my own ideas as well.
well, music theory is helpful to many people in many different
Yeah.
ways. It can be used in many different ways. You got I mean, it goes deep. You can get
Yeah.
insanely deep in music theory.
I just want to know what chords are at this point as well, because Damien is a funky little man on the keys, and you're a very funky man on the guitar. I think I really do enjoy. Like you're one of the I don't know many musicians at this point, but I think you're one of one of the people I hold in like high regards as a
Thanks, man.
performer. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's good, and I really want to get to like a level similar to you because I think technique wise, I think I'm pretty there vocally and piano's slowly coming along, but
Hmm.
I haven't really gone beyond live performances or like musicals beyond like I want to do covers. Covers seem fun.
Yeah. That, I mean, definitely theory helps me with my covers. The primary thing that you want to learn if you're going to do covers is learning things by ear. So just sitting there with your funny little YouTube video of your favorite song and playing the same 2 seconds over and over again until you're sure you've hit all the right notes and you figured out what's going on. Um, chord theory is definitely helpful for trying to figure out rhythm sections because that gives your piece a lot of body, especially if you're playing piano because you can play your chords and your
Yeah,
melody at the same time. So the idea with a chord is that it's like two notes at the same time,
of
and
course.
what you call the chord is based on what notes you're using from a specific scale. That's not something I'm going to go over in this interview, but
That will
if
take a
you
while.
if you ever see like D minor 7 flat 5, it seems just like a bunch of symbols, but all of
D
those,
minor.
pretty much everything in there represents
Which
some
keys to be pressed?
which keys to be pressed in a specific scale.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, but yes, I think we've had this exact talk before.
probably. It's I talk about chords, you do it.
Music's fun. Music's neat.
Yeah, I do it for a living. It's pretty cool.
Again, this is why I think you should watch Tick Tick Boom because
Yeah.
making music and like I think as someone who wants to be like maybe an actor in the future, you have to kind of grapple with the realization that it's going to be a difficult field.
Yeah. God, there's so
Like
much stuff on Netflix now that I gotta
there
watch.
is. There's Tick Tick Boom. There's
I wanted to watch
that's it.
Inside at some
Oh
point,
yeah,
but I haven't seen that.
Inside. Inside. Oh
There's
right, Inside.
this anime I've been talking about. It's the one Komi can't communicate. The funny girl with
Oh,
no
that one's a really
eyebrows.
nice one.
Yeah, I know that's on Netflix, and I'm like, that's the cutest shit I ever seen. I gotta look at that at some point.
Yeah, I do think that and Netflix and Bo Burnham's Inside definitely should be up there. Especially watching them side by side would be hilarious because Bo Burnham's Inside. I truly believe. I feel like anyone I've talked to about Bo Burnham who's smarter than me, like Amy Thone. You love Amy. We
Oh
know
God, I
Amy.
love
She
Amy.
literally. I talked to her about Bo Burnham. She's like, I think that man is like making new headway and like being a trailblazer in both comedy and like performing.
Yeah, this is
And she's a
uh we had the same Shakespeare's teacher, Amy Thun, at the University of Washington. She's fantastic. Just for the
absolutely
record, I'm saying
brilliant.
it publicly. She's one of my favorite teachers I ever had.
Same.
Um,
And like I don't know, just I think especially as someone who pandemic wasn't really fun for me because I was like getting into my jive for the first time ever. Like I'm in a new city, my freshman year. I had plans for stuff and to have it just get crashed over and have someone like sort of embody the hell that is the pandemic for performers. It was really nice and cathartic.
mm.
And then Comey just looks adorable. I read a couple of the
Yes.
manga.
Speaking of anime and manga, I know you wanted to talk about JoJo's Bizarre
Yes.
Adventure. Um,
To my extent, how much I could talk.
yeah, so you have watched the anime, the English dub of part one and two, and the first half of part three, and
Yep,
that's it.
Barinos.
What are you thinking about it? How are you
I
feeling about it?
like it. I think it's unapologetic for how it is, which I like. It's like
Yeah,
campy at times, and I like that.
yeah,
And I did not skip the first two parts, even though I like the ideas of stands a lot. But I think the story and how it continues on and it keeps going is really fun. I
hmm
like all the characters. The music's a bop. I think the fighting scenes are really fun, and I'm excited to see where they go in the future. But so far, been vibing, been enjoying it.
yeah. I feel like JoJo, when it doesn't take itself too seriously, it's a little campy. It's very much. I think Kimmy described it as when she was like watching part two. It's like when you play fight as a kid and you're running around in make
Yes.
believe and you're like, I'm gonna shoot my laser at you, and then your friend is like, Nuh-uh, I had a shield up the whole time and it deflected at you and you died. And the other person's like, no, I had my shield up, so now it's gonna shoot at the moon and pieces of the moon are gonna fall on you and kill you. But then it's yeah, that's what JoJo is like,
That's what it's
literally.
at. That is JoJo at its peak performance.
I fucking love JoJo so much, and there's so
Yes.
much content. There's
There
just a
there's a
wealth.
lot.
There's a lot. I
It's
literally
so
talked about this on the last podcast. There's so much.
I remember that. I had to skip over bits of it because I was like, I don't want to spoil myself too hard.
Yeah.
But JoJo hasn't fallen the hole of my other favorite likes fandom, which is Danganronpa, where
Oh,
the material is kind of I fucking love Danganronpa, but it's basically done. It's like there's never gonna be any more to Danganronpa, and that's
no,
sad.
darn.
No, Kodaka just has like I got I can't say anything because that would be considered spoilers, but
Oh,
it's just kind of done.
all right. Yeah, I never got into Danganronpa. I know that Danganronpa S came out. I know that's not canon,
Ooh, I'm so excited. Yeah,
but
it's not.
I know it's basically Dead or Alive, the fighting game.
Pretty much that.
And you know how there's the spin-off Extreme Beach Volleyball, and like you said, it is pretty
Mm-hmm.
much that. It's just they got okay.
It's fan
I've
service.
I've mentioned this before. I haven't been big into Danganronpa, but I'm pretty sure like most of the character are children, and I do not like the way that they are sexualized in a
Yeah.
lot of the actual canon material. Not a fan of that.
Yeah. Well, Kodaka, that's just a
It's
problem with
Japan.
it's
Like,
Japan. I
yeah.
just like the murder parts. It's just so it's why I'm so like gung ho about accusing people and things.
When we play Among Us.
I get hardcore into Among Us. It's the only thing I get competitive in, and I blame Danganronpa entirely.
You're really good at it. My sister and my dad are like way into Danganronpa, but
God,
I've seen
I want to
like
talk to your dad.
a lot. I mean, you talked to my dad a little bit.
I just when I get in the moment, I get scared.
Yeah, he's a nice man. Um, but yeah, I think Danganronpa's pretty cool from what I've seen, but it just doesn't really seem like my thing. But I respect it, even though I think it's strange.
Loser.